Thank you, Chairman. And I'd like to support this amendment, of course, put forward by the Rural Independent Group. I suppose, you know, like my previous colleague has said, the local property tax was set up and a promise was given to the people, you know, to make improvements, improve their services. Now it looks to me as if they're going to be paying a lot more than what they initially paid, and they don't have the improved services. In rural areas, they certainly haven't benefited from the local property tax, maybe in urban, but that's something the urban people can talk about. I can only talk about the rural constituency I represent and the shocking roads and the lack of funding spent on roads. I think in Cork County alone, I think we got the lowest funding being made available to us for many decades, and that's been proven in a recent report by carried out by the Cork County Council. And I hope that both Ministers for Finance there have read that from cover to cover. It's a bleak picture. It paints a bleak picture as to what has been done to Cork County, and it needs to be fully discussed here in the Dáil, but that's for a later date. I look at, you know, what type of improved services have we got from the local property tax, and now if you're going to start looking at, you know, outside buildings as such, mainly we need clarity, and very strong clarity, and this shouldn't be passed here at all if it includes some kind of farm buildings or an extension or little bits and pieces that people have, little, you know, outside rooms and stuff like that, just basically for washing and whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It kind of is pointed very much towards an extra tax on farmers. I have very serious concerns about this, and this is not what the local property tax was all about. At this present time, families are struggling greatly. I'm getting it more and more on my phone and on my clinics in the weekends. People are talking to me how they're struggling to make ends meet. And the worries that they have going forward, and businesses even starting to feel massive pressure. You know, one businessman on last week, he has 13 vans in West Cork, and he's talking about taking some of them off the road because the fuel. He said it's crippling him, so he's going to maybe lay off some workers. So we're facing a very difficult time out there, and I just think at this present time to add more difficulties by increased charges of local property tax would just exasperate people and anger people greatly, and that's not what the local property tax should be for. It should have improved services. Maybe we should have had maybe refuse collected free for the people, or some kind of a service that they could prove, or we could prove after us. This is what the local property tax has. You know, I know that there's an allocation of funding under the LIS scheme, and I'd encourage both ministers to look at that closer, because it turns out there's only a few roads done in Cork County, and I presume in other counties as well, because it might sound a lot when the announcement is made of millions, but when it breaks it down to local roads being done in rural communities, it's down to practically nothing. So a bigger investment in the LIS scheme, which is a great scheme in fairness, and I shouldn't discredit it if we are getting money that we're not getting it. It's great that there is some money spent on it, but it certainly needs to have a far more investment going forward. Look, maybe I'll speak to further amendments and I'll give other people the opportunity, but I just end by saying that I certainly would be very, I have grave doubts about what's happening here in relation to the changes in the local property tax, and I wouldn't be supporting that in any way, shape or form. Tax to punish the people, especially the people of rural Ireland, who already are paying quite a lot in their areas. Thank you.